Hey up everybody, how the devil are we all doing? It's a Nordic Giant, and in this video we're building this modern monstrosity of a motel here. Beautiful. Now first things first, we need a solid location, don't we? If we're going to be master hoteliers, we need somewhere where our guests can feel safe and get a good night's sleep in peace. So we're going to do the right thing and ignore both of those requirements and build here at the Miners' Monument. Welcome to the Motel. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, TNG, why would you build a hotel right near the White Springs? Surely they're just going to put you out of business. Well, I've got two responses for that. One, this isn't Hotel Tycoon, so we don't have to worry about virtual competition. And two, we have everything the White Springs can offer and more. For example, we've got friendly robots to protect us. We're right near a fission site, a nature reserve. And of course, we have on-site secure parking. But seriously though, guys, if you are planning on building here, just be warned, it is an absolute fucking nightmare. Anyhow, whilst talking through my arsehole, I have also been building foundations. Initially, it's just going to be a 5x2 rectangle. The walls are just there to make sure I can actually get walls on them foundations. If you put your foundations too close to that brick embankment, you're not going to be able to put walls on them. So yeah, just double check. Once you've got everything sorted, you should be left with something like this. Right, so for this part, we're going to need to offset our foundations, and we're going to be doing that by using the catwalk. We're just going to move this one out of the way and stick in a medium-sized catwalk here. We're then going to grab that foundation again and snap it to said catwalk. Beautiful. You can then grab the first run of your other foundations and snap it to that foundation. Right, so from here, we're going to build up 4 walls high, and we're going to make sure that they're doubled up as well. Once you've got all your doorways in, remove the bottom ones and you should be left with 3 floating walls like this. In the space created by removing them walls, we're going to be putting in a brick top arch. Now, it's important that it's brick, just remember that. And once you've placed down said top arch, we're going to destroy it with a flamethrower trap. Counterproductive, I know, but it's necessary because this game's building mechanics are absolutely fucking broken. Once that top arch is deleted, guess what we're going to do? We're going to put down another top arch. I know, exciting. And when that top arch is down, guess what we're going to be doing with that? Yep, you got it right, you at the back. We're going to be destroying that with a flamethrower trap too. And you may be thinking to yourself, why the bloody hell we're doing all this? Well, it's quite simple. We need to remove the foundation from underneath the top arches, and the only way we can do that is by blowing them up. And yes, I did say blowing them up because that's the animation of burning something. Anyhow, once both your top arches are destroyed, you can then remove the foundation from underneath it. Simply lovely. We're then going to repair one of the top arches, doesn't matter which, and then we're going to stick on one of these big slopey boy 3000s, you know, the big daddies. When we've got that placed down, we're going to destroy it with a flamethrower trap. I know it's getting a little bit repetitive now, isn't it? Don't worry, there's more to come. And now perhaps is a good time to say that every one of my videos comes with an aneurysm warning. Once that's destroyed, we can remove the top arch from underneath it, and then we just need to do the same on the other side. We can then repair them, and we're left with this double wall, big, massive, slopey boy things. Beautiful. Right, so before we continue, you may have not noticed there, but we're actually only 2 walls up above the slopey boy now instead of 3, so yeah, it's a fuck up, I apologise for that. But anyway, moving on swiftly. What I'm doing here is exactly the same as what I've just done. Why I'm using floors and stairs this time? I couldn't bloody well tell you. It's been a long day, and to be quite honest with you, I forgot. But there must be a reason for it, so I advise just doing whatever the hell I'm doing in the video. Once you've got your floors in, just build up walls like I'm doing here now. And yes, we are doubling them up again, so just remember to do that as well. Once you've got all your walls in, delete the floors, delete the stairs, and you should be left with this floating monstrosity here. Beautiful. Right then, so remember that rage-inducing and overly time-consuming thing we were doing with top arches and slanty boys before? Yep, we've got to do it again. Several times again, to be precise. And yeah, guys, I know it's an extremely fun thing to do, but please try to contain yourself and don't piss all over your floor out of utter excitement. I did that on one occasion, and I got banned from a local shopping centre, and it's quite an inconvenience, I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, like I said, guys, it's just the same dreary bullshit over and over again. Put down a top arch, destroy it with a flamethrower trap. Put down another one, destroy that with a flamethrower. Remove the foundation from underneath it, repair any one of the 2 top arches, and place on top of it one of the super slopey boys. Burn that shit with a flamethrower trap, remove the top arch from underneath it, and then do the same on the other side. You know, sometimes when I'm making these tutorials, I look back at all the bullshit we have to go through to put down a simple item, and I think to myself, are Bethesda doing Vault-Tec experiments on us? You know, something along the lines of, how much abuse from a game can the average gamer take before they suffer long-term mental damage? Seriously, I think I'm onto something here. And to prove my point that this game messes with your head, I want you to answer this question honestly. Have you ever looked at a random item in the world and thought, I could scrap that for X amount of materials? You can tell me otherwise, but I know that you 100% have. Anyway, by now you should have done 2 of them slopey boy things, and you've only got another 3 to go. Here here, and of course here. Good luck, and I'll see you when you return. And welcome back to the 3 people who aren't sitting in the corner crying. I'm glad you pressed unpause. Hopefully, you should have something like this. Am I right? Yeah, fantastic. Now don't worry, this part is really simple. All we're going to do is place some roofs in here. Dead easy, isn't it? And once you've placed in them roofs, you're going to use them as platforms to put down, yep, flamethrower traps. And you're going to burn out this whole entire row of walls here. This may seem utterly pointless, but it will make sense later on in the video, don't you worry. Right then, so you got all them walls burnt out? Absolutely fantastic. Now, you're just going to go up a level, put down some roofs again, and do exactly the same. I'll catch you in a minute when you've burnt everything to shit. Right then, so when you burnt all your walls out, this is what you should be left with. And when you find out why you've done all that work, you're going to be absolutely fucking fuming. From here, we're just going to start moving our foundations back into the correct places. You know, back to that original 2x5 rectangle that we had going at the beginning. And then on the front of these foundations, we're going to put down some glass walls. Don't worry if you don't have them. I'm sure some are going to be coming to the Atomic shop in about 96 years. On top of these glass walls, we're going to be putting down some doorways. And yes, we are going to be doubling up said doorways. To do this, just put down a doorway, delete the glass walls, the door will stay there, don't worry. Rebuild your glass walls, but the opposite way around this time. And you should be able to put down a doorway back to back with the one you've already got in place. Does that make sense? Nope. Absolutely brilliant. And you're just going to be doing this for the whole entire run here. And once you finish, you should be left with something like this. Look at the offset on that. Beautiful. And now we've just got to do this for the next story of the build. Now, make sure you go up to the top and put your roofs in first, and then place down your walls for your doorways to what are eventually going to become balconies, because that's what these are going to be. Fun times ahead. Now, remember how I said you're going to be slightly annoyed when you find out why you did all that burning of walls? Well, here's the reason you did that. It's literally to put in these railings. Now, yes, you could leave them out, but where's the fun in not using a shit ton of supplies? I mean, if you've got all the supplies you need, then what else have you got to do in the game? As we all know, grind is life, or is it pipe is life? One of the two. Anyway, once you've got all your railings in, you should be left with this. Looks alright, doesn't it? Come on, you know you like it. Definitely worth the extra work. Now we can start working on the sides of our builds, and this is really easy. I know it makes a change in this tutorial, and you're just going to be building upwards until you meet the top of what you've already built. You can use any wall you want, you can use full walls, you can use half walls, the world is your oyster, or so they say. One thing I will mention though, at this stage I put a little top arch on the top of this tower. Don't bother putting it in because I totally changed my mind and leave it out. As you can see here, this is the design that I'm going to be running with. All you've got to do now is go to the other side and copy the exact same thing you've just done on the side you've just done. Yeah, beautiful. Now it's time for a useful tip. On these back foundations, I want a double wall, which is absolutely fine on these first two here because I can clip a foundation into this wall at the back. But as we move further down, no bueno. So what do? Well, we put down a doorway and we put a door in it. We then change the doorway into a solid wall, delete said solid wall, and we'll be left with a floating door like this. Now, I probably picked the worst build set I could, the contemporary set. Do it with a barn set, it's much simpler. But either way, you should now be able to place down a wall facing the opposite way as if it's been doubled up. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that, you see. I think it was Lucy Jane who taught me how to do that, or was it Lobby 76? I don't know. Either way, thank you to both of you. Now, this is the point where shit starts getting annoying and you need to make sure you get it in the right order, because if you cock up, you may have to rebuild the whole thing again, and ask me how I know that. I've not rebuilt this 4 times today. Nope, definitely haven't. We're going to start off by offsetting our foundations again. We're using the catwalk as we did before, and we're putting them into the same position as we had them in before. Once we've got them all dragged forward, we're then going to go behind them and we're going to stick in another run of foundations at the back here. Yep, simply lovely. From this point, we're going to start double walling all the way up to the top of our build, and we're going to be putting our walls in matching where the little slopey boys are. Just take a look at the screen if that makes no sense. And these are going to be the dividing walls between our rooms. Yep, they're only getting small rooms in this place. You pay a premium, but you get a shit deal. Much like Fallout First. Once we've built them all the way up to the top, we can remove the bottom doorways and we'll be left with some floating walls. We're then going to do the same to make our entrances to our rooms. Just double up your walls, put them down to the top of the building, remove the bottom run of walls, and you should be left with something like this. Now we've got to put in our gantry stairs, and by God, make sure you put them in the right way, which is this way, because if you put these in wrong, you're rebuilding that whole entire side of the building. We can then put in our first story floors. Now, these are absolutely fine. They'll snap through the roofs and they'll fit really, really nicely. So you can put down a carpet if you wanted to. And we're just going to go across the whole length of the entire building. Simply marvellous. There you go. You can see the finished result there. Now, the second story is going to be for the peasants because we're not going to be able to get carpets down. And that's because we're going to have to use our floors because we can't get in the full-size bad boys. It's got something to do with having these walls in place here. It's complicated and it's a piss take, but it's Fallout 76. What else do we expect at this point? Sorry to disappoint you guys, but we're just going to have to make do with what we've got. Anyhow, once you've done that, this is what you'll be left with. Right then, so now we're on to the roofs. Thank God we've nearly finished. We're going to start by putting a flat roof piece in over here and orientate it so when you turn it to a slopey boy, it's facing this way. We're then going to go down the whole length of the build, putting in slopey boys. After this, we need to delete the roof pieces that we've already got in at the front. I know, counterproductive as ever. And then start putting in slopey boys on the other side like this. Beautiful. And after that, what we're going to do? Yep, you got it right. We're going to burn the shit out of them with a flamethrower trap until you're left with nothing but a glowing outline like this. On the corner of our build here, we're just going to place down a flat piece. Nice and simple. You may have to remove the half wall underneath it first, put the roof down and then put the half wall back in, but it's dead easy. Now, the pieces in the middle of the build, these are slightly more tricky. You're going to have to put down a slopey boy and change them into flat pieces. And when you get to these pieces here, you're going to have to turn the roof pieces on the end of your build, you know, the ones that were dead easy to put in, into slopey boys. Destroy them with a flamethrower trap. Place down some more slopey boys here and turn them into flat pieces. Repair your two outermost pieces that you've just destroyed and turn them back into normal roofs. And now all you've got to do is repair all the roofs that you destroyed initially. And you'll be left with this absolute undulating mess of a roof. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. We can now go back inside our build, move all our foundations back to the correct position, and I will pre-warn you, once these foundations are moved back to where they should be, you won't be able to move them again. I have no idea why, but it's got something to do with them fucking stairs. When you've got all them moved back, slam your glass walls back into the front, and then we can start going round tidying it up. One quick note as well, if you do want to put doors on your doorways to your balcony, I mean, it kind of makes sense, you would want to do. You have to change your big dirty metal roof piece, if you did use that one, to something like a glass piece, and then you can put your door in. Obviously, you can swap it back to what you actually want it to be afterwards. And yeah, like I said, now it's just a case of going round tidying stuff up, turning doorways into solid walls, choosing what materials you want. I'm going to be using a lot of the Enclave set, I think it is. You know, the dark greeny black coloured metal thing. It's actually got a pretty cool texture on it that works well with modern builds. Now, I'm going to cut away some footage of it decorated. I'll pre-warn you, it isn't my best work. I'm not going to lie to you, it's quite terrible. Well, the inside of it is anyway, but it'll give you some idea of what you can do with it. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know that I enjoyed making it. Nope, it was an absolute pain in the arse, this one. As ever, thank you to all my patrons. The support is really, really appreciated. Honestly, thank you so much, guys. If any of you fancy taking a look at it, the link's down in the description. If you do end up having a ganders down there, the link to my Discord's down there also. And of course, guys, if you did like the video, please hit that like button. Let me know I'm doing an half-decent job. And if you do want to see more weekly Fallout 76 content, hit that subscribe button too.